Welcome, and this costume is very unfitting for this. Wait while I change. Just going regular old Divine Dragon getup for this. The Ancient Well is our gateway to the extra DLC storyline, the Fell Xenologue. Now, the Fell Xenologue is 6 chapters long. They're all totally new maps and chapters. They have their own storyline separate from the main game. But your levels don't carry over and you don't gain experience in there. Before we start, I want to clarify, what are the rewards for doing this? Well, when you complete the 6th and final Fell Xenologue, 5 new characters will join your army for the main who can be used in the main storyline. They have supports, they have endings, all of that. You also gain access to the Enchanter and Mage Cannoneer classes. The issue that a lot of people have with this, though, is that unlike Cindered Shadows in Three Houses, you have to beat the Fell Xenologue separately on every file in order to unlock its benefits. And yeah, I can kind of see why people will be annoyed at that, but to that I say, you may want to change the difficulty then to normal. The Fell Xenologue defaults to having the same difficulty as your main file. However, it actually has a completely separate difficulty, and the Fell Xenologue in general is significantly harder than the main story. I do not recommend playing the Fell Xenologue on Maddening on your first time, even if you're playing Maddening in the main game. Just play through the Fell Xenologue once on normal or hard, then you can think about going back to Maddening if you really like it and want to challenge yourself. There's really no reason to put yourself through Fell Xenologue Maddening unless you really like that kind of thing. I will be doing it on hard, however. Now, while levels don't carry over, actual recruited characters and emblems obtained and bond levels, and also inherited skills, do carry over. So the Fell Xenologue does get a little easier if you do it later. As for what is generally recommended to be the best point in the main story to do the Fell Xenologue, it's usually around the end of like chapter 14, around the Soul arc. That's about where the levels of the new characters will roughly be. Because if you do the Fell Xenologue too early, you will heavily spike up the scaling of skirmishes and divine paralogs. Now with all that out of the way, let's begin the Fell Xenologue. Dragons, plural from Afar?
Faced one way, 1,000 years separation. The other way, 100 years regret. Pray, dream of my sorrow. Pray, dispel the darkness from this world. The only light here is in memory, and the hope you instilled flickers. Alas, I know the truth. In this world, there is no salvation. In this world, there is no you.
That looks to be the Lithos ring chamber, but destroyed.
Where am I? This isn't the Somniel.
At this point, where I am in the main story, Aaliyah's like, oh no, am I dead again?
Who are you?
You called out my name silently.
I am... No, it is no matter. My name lost its meaning long ago.
Maybe that's why nobody can pronounce the name Aaliyah in any universe.
But I have this strange feeling, as if the two of us have met somewhere.
On the new game screen, maybe?
We have never met before. Not in any way you would understand.
But your hair is looking decidedly non-half and half.
I'm speaking to you from across a mirror. You are my reflection, and my land's last hope. Please, I need your assistance. Will you save those who are important to me?
Of course. I'll help however I can.
Really? You accept my plea without hearing what it entails?
Yeah, because for all we know, those important to you are Sombron.
I suppose I feel like helping you might ease some of my own anxieties. Almost as if this is a chance to get back something that I lost a long time ago. In short, yes, I'm here for you.
I'm glad to hear you say so. I was afraid you would refuse, since I'm unable to explain all the details. Suffice to say that the land I speak of is threatened by a foe with a wicked heart. The only hope for my people is for you to collect the 7 bracelets.
Bracelets?
In my world, emblems dwell inside bracelets. You will need them in order to succeed.
So now we've realized what Tiki was talking about earlier.
Now, I will transport you there. Those you encounter after arriving will guide you.
Will you and I meet again?
We will not. Nor have we ever met.
This conversation never happened.
Not even in this very moment.
Wow, that's pretty much literally what I was just joking about.
You speak so cryptically. Still, I get the feeling I will see you again.
Be off now. I thank you, and wish you good fortune in the battles ahead.
And we're gonna need it.
Goodbye, my fellow Divine Dragon. My twin from another world. On your journey, I hope you feel joy, suffering, sorrow, and love. Because I will feel nothing anymore. I will never awaken again.
Yeah, I was wondering why you'd wish that he'd feel sorrow, and then I'm like, yeah, feeling sorrow is preferable to not feeling anything at all.
So bright.
Sister, it worked! Our prayers are answered!
After all these long years, at last our savior has come. You.
Is that?
Where am I?
You are in Lethos Castle. We have long awaited your arrival.
It looks a little more purple than what we're used to.
Thank you for answering our prayers.
Well, actually, someone else kind of made us answer your prayers, if that makes sense.
I am Nell, one of the dragons who resides here.
And of course, one of the 2 new characters from the Xenologue.
And I am Nil, her twin brother.
It's nice to meet you, Nell. And you, Nil. I'm the Divine Dragon.
You said the unspeakable name!
So you are the Divine Dragon.
Fate has made a cruel and mysterious choice.
It is such a joy to see you reborn.
Reborn? What does that...
The Divine Dragon is deceased.
Okay, so we kind of were in that death realm before.
You fell in the last war. Our world has been consumed by darkness in the time since. We have long prayed for a savior to aid us, and your appearance seems to be our answer. It is unfortunate. I would have preferred never to see you again.
Nell?
But we are in desperate need of aid, and we do not have the luxury of choice. I will speak no more of it. Please follow me.
I'm so sorry, Divine One. She is rather more upset by this than I would have expected. She and the Divine Dragon have a somewhat complicated history.
This is the Bracelet Vault. Here, our emblem bracelets are kept secure.
I see.
And I also see that the whole place has been smashed up beyond recognition.
Upon that pedestal lies the bracelet of the Shepherd Exalt.
Okay, you've kept Crom at least?
It is the sole bracelet in our possession. The emblems within it are safely in slumber.
There are 7 bracelets in total. We lost the other 6 in the war with Sombron.
So, he exists in your world as well.
Yes, it seems like him being a jerk is a canon event.
I will explain from the beginning. The first dragons were born millennia ago, and from them came the divine and fell dragons.
Still more backstory for the first dragons than we got in Fates.
For a time, there was peace, until the fell dragons turned to conquest and destruction.
So, you know, blah blah blah, everything changed when the Fell Dragon attacked.
With the world under threat, the divine dragons and the people prayed for salvation. And that salvation came in the form of beings from other worlds, known as emblems.
That's basically the same as what happened in our world.
The emblems were manifestations of those ardent prayers for peace.
Well, except Edelgard, but we don't talk about her.
My sister and I were performing that ancient rite when you arrived.
Oh, also Veronica.
We thought a new emblem would appear to save us.
Well, I mean, that's not wrong.
And you got me.
Yeah, again, not wrong.
Yes, it was quite the shock. I'm still a bit beside myself.
The emblems brought an end to the fighting, but only temporarily. 1,000 years ago, Sombron sought to exploit the emblems for his own ambitions.
We experienced that war firsthand. It was awful. The entire continent became a battlefield. The dragons and the royal families fought over the emblems until all sides were exhausted.
But as we stood upon the brink of annihilation, the Divine Dragons won a key victory. Lumera, the Divine Dragon Monarch, imprisoned Fell Dragon Sombron, at the cost of her life.
Sadly, it seems like her dying is also a canon event.
My mother died 1,000 years ago?
Her sacrifice bestowed peace upon the people even as they mourned her passing. But it was her successor who healed the wounded land and returned it to prosperity.
Her successor? You mean the next Divine Dragon Monarch?
Yes. You.
The Divine Dragon Monarch after Lumera was her own begotten child.
So I took the throne after she died. This is so different from the history of my world.
Or rather, it kind of matches the history of your world as per the epilogue.
You are a wonderful ruler. Under your reign, it seems like the world would be at peace for the rest of time. But it was not to be. Sombron eventually returned.
Somehow.
And another war began.
Whosoever gathers all 7 of the awakened emblems will be granted immense power.
So, Sombron basically had half the work that he needed to do in this universe.
Sombron intended to use that power to exact revenge and restore the Fell Dragon's honor. To achieve that end, he was willing to set the whole world ablaze.
And I take it I lost this war.
No, not exactly. You and Sombron each slew the other. On the night of the decisive clash, you and he perished at the same moment.
So the Fell Dragon is already gone? Then who is it that's putting your world in danger now?
An unknown malefactor is attempting to fulfill the late Sombron's ambitions.
They come and go without a trace. We know nothing of their whereabouts or appearance. All we know for sure is that, like Sombron, this individual wants to collect the 7 bracelets. In fact, we believe they already have 2.
1 in Lethos Castle, 2 in enemy hands. Where are the other 4?
Okay, hang on. First we need to establish which of the 2 that the enemy has, because if they've got the really broken ones, that's going to be a problem for us.
Each of the 4 nations of Elyos possesses one. They once fought under a single banner, but that changed drastically after your death. Now, with nothing to unite them, the little ones, the humans, bicker among themselves. Thus far, they have kept one another in check, but war could break out at any moment.
Yeah, this is what might happen if people were a little too dependent on Alear, lost it when they died, and decided, maybe if one nation took all the other nations' bracelets, yeah, that'd be a great thing.
I don't know if the Divine Dragon's army was ever truly united.
Because, yeah, it actually is kind of interesting to think about this. Because, like, yeah, while everyone does seem to, really like Alear in the main universe, they also really like each other, and that's potentially more important.
I saw them argue, in this very castle, about which nation was to blame for your death. Which is absurd, of course. It was no one's fault.
Now that our savior has arrived, it is imperative we reclaim the bracelets. The conflict we have avoided for years will soon be inevitable. You may need to cross blades with people who resemble your own friends and allies.
Yeah, alternate universe stuff and all that.
I understand. I'll brace myself for that possibility.
What that does mean, though, is some very fun boss conversations.
So, you're both divine dragons, like me?
What gave you that impression?
You said you were dragons, and you live in Lethos Castle, so I just assumed.
Your assumption is incorrect.
What she means, Divine One, is that we...
Watch out! Assassins!
Knock knock, who's there? The interrupting corrupted. The interrupting corrupted who?
Nell!
She's a fell dragon.
Well, yeah, we could kind of figure that.
My brother and I both. In this world, fell dragons are born as twins.
And unlike the world we know, these ones can actually transform and fight as dragons.
We severed ties with our father during the last war. We now fight against our misguided kin.
I cannot transform, but that does not stop me from fighting at Nell's side.
Yeah, Nil hasn't gone through dragon puberty yet. He's a little bitter about it.
Fell dragon twins.
I suppose I simply assumed that you would already know what we were. It seems I was mistaken. If you will not aid us, you may leave. We will defend this world ourselves.
No, I'll fight with you.
I mean, we already know one nice fell dragon.
I don't care about your heritage. If you truly want to protect this world, I'll be your ally.
Ah, that's a relief. Now, let us march into battle together, just like the good old days.
Show us your mettle, Divine One. We shall see if you are truly the answer to our prayers.
Yeah, don't mind the giant eye she has on her forehead. Fell Xenologue deployment. Your allies will have predetermined classes and levels. One really annoying thing about this, in fact, I'll show it on the character roster. Their inventories are also predetermined, but you can swap items between units normally. So, before every battle, you will probably have to do a lot of inventory management just to convoy all on everybody you're not using. Allies who fall in battle will return afterwards regardless of your difficulty settings. This is very important, so the logic behind the Fell Xenologue is quite different to the main game. Don't worry about losing people. I personally won't be trying to pull off any full-on sacrifice plays, but I don't think I'll be restarting or using Time Crystal if anyone goes down, because you're not meant to play these maps like that. You're kind of meant to play them more like an Advance Wars game. Features unique allies who will join you in each battle as guests. Nell is a powerful dragon unit. Nil has not gone through dragon puberty, so he's terrible and sucks awfully. Also, if he dies, it's a game over. Yeah. Nil is a walking liability, and you're forced to deploy him. So that kind of sucks, but the game handily gives him a restore staff as inventory to kind of tell you, maybe give him Micaiah so he won't be completely useless. There is one other massive problem about Nell and Nil though, which I'll go over when I go over emblems. But yes, we got the younger of the twins with fell dragon blood, a kind-hearted young man, also he has his own personal skill. I won't be doing full bios for Nell and Nil because they don't have growth rates, so really, everything you need to know about them is already on their stat screens right here. So he has wounded pride again, he's still bitter because he hasn't gone through dragon puberty. But now we finally know what these weapons are. A lot of people guess this, they're Nell and Nil's weapons, but they aren't like the same ones you'll have in the main game. So yeah, Nell has more balanced all-round stats, she doesn't completely suck like Nil, and she also has Fellspark, halves foes' defense and resistance, and it has pretty high accuracy compared to her main weapon, but it does lower her, it doesn't actually lower her speed at all. Well, it doesn't lower it any less than what she currently has, basically. She also has Protective. This is kind of cool. You generally don't want people attacking Nil, though. Just saying. So we get to pick two other people, and here's the problem. Yeah, everyone has fixed classes, and Jean is only a martial monk. His stats look kind of solid, though, but we've also got Seadoll. So yeah, here are the stats of basically everyone. So you're stuck as a sword fighter, you are back to being cavalry. Clan is now a mage, Anna is an axe fighter, can't use the radiant bow. Ivy's unpromoted, as are you. However, anybody who starts out promoted in the main game, like for example Morvia, spoilers, I'm going through this with the post-game file, they are still promoted, so, yeah, basically not everyone is treated equal in the early Fell Xenologues, but things even out as you get into the later ones, so, yeah, don't worry too much about that. So yeah, for example, Panetti's still a Berserker, so she's still significantly better than somebody like, say, Boucheron at this point. Oh, also, Sophia. She is the only warrior available in the Fell Xenologues. That gives her a pretty good niche already. Now, in terms of the enemies in this map, you'll see that this map here is almost entirely corrupted wolves. Now, most of them don't have an enormous amount of physical attack, And because of this, now you'll notice they did put a mage here to kind of dissuade this tactic, but Louis is quite effective here. He has a default defense stat of 19, so on hard mode, most of the wolves can't even hurt him. You'll have to watch out for chain attacks, but, I wonder whether quick riposte might actually be kind of useful against these wolves. I mean, if I can kill them on the counterattack, then I won't have to worry about them chain attacking me. So yeah, my first unit here will be Louis. And then I need to have something to deal with that mage, because once I deal with that, then the coast should be pretty clear. And you know what? I didn't really get to use Lyndon much in the main game. Let's give him a chance to shine here. Now, okay, emblem rings. I definitely want Hector on Louis. If you have Corrin with a high bond on Louis, or also maybe Jade. In fact, let me just check Jade for a second. Yeah, she's roughly similar to Louis, but lances have better accuracy than axes. But even though we're only going to have bond 1 with Byleth on Lyndon...
Byleth, let's go.
This will at least give me a Thyrsus mage and a goddess dancer. So Nil being a dragon does quite well with people like Byleth. He unfortunately doesn't really do that well with Crom, because here is the problem with the Fel Xenologue exclusive characters. They are stuck at bond 1 with every emblem. This is my least favorite thing about the Fel Xenologue, and it gets really, really annoying later on. But this means that, for example, Nil is kind of decent with Byleth, since he can still use, like, the full Dragon Instruct, but with Crom, he won't get Rally Spectrum, which is pretty great, and he'll miss out on things like Pair Up with Corrin. But with Micaiah, he can at least use Augment and use some decent staves.
Micaiah!
Of course.
Well, staves only up to C, but still, meh, that's kind of fine. Now Nell. Nell actually has a few potential options for her emblem. However, with her decent strength and magic, Nell makes pretty good use of Crom. And because I haven't really used Crom much in the main game...
Prom.
I'll lend a hand.
And now excuse me while I do a bunch of inventory management off screen. And yeah, Vale is very, very strong here. Here's another annoying thing about these maps. You're not actually allowed to alter Nell and Nil's inventory pre-battle, but you can bring things in the convoy with Alear, and you can trade them items in the middle of the battle. Let's begin.
The enemy has most likely come for the bracelet of the Shepherd Exalt.
Which I hold, so don't let me die.
We must stop them here, before they can reach its location.
Ooh.
Defeats question mark. So, who is question mark? Well, he has Tiki's bracelet, regardless of if you're using her or not. Your versions come from, like, later in the timeline, I think. It's confusing. Identified assassin who has come for the emblem bracelets. An emblem that awakened from the bracelet of the ancestor. He just has Tiki's fire breath and a silver dagger. I forget if he ever actually uses a draconic form, but he likes using Divine Blessing to give the nearby wolf an extra health bar. But here's the thing. Because you don't get any experience in these battles, there is no reason not to just rush for the objective from the beginning. So I usually like to just completely ignore one side of the battlefield, but the thing you have to worry about that is that the other wolves will eventually encroach on you and try and flank you. So there's benefits to doing one way or the other, or maybe even going both ways.
Let us be off.
For now, though... Okay, Louis can one-shot with that. It may even be better if I engage, though.
Won't you join me?
Because I don't see this battle going on any longer than, yeah, it's not really going to take, that long. Wolfbale is not effective, though, since they're not considered cavalry. In fact, actually, one thing about Hector that is kind of interesting, so... The Rune Sword actually calculates damage based on half of your strength stat instead of your magic stat, which is how it worked in Fire Emblem 7. Well, technically the only reason it worked that way in Fire Emblem 7 is because there weren't separate strength and magic stats, it was just one kind of power stat, but still, you get the idea. Also, here's something interesting about Linton on this map. Apparently Elfire is considered to be lower ranked than the Wolf's Fangs, so he gets his personal skill here, which actually makes him quite a terror on this map. So I'm glad that I'm getting to show him off a little bit. But okay, we've got just one wolf here. Now, unlike most like Manakeets in the series, your dragon weapons don't really give you any extra defense. This isn't Tiki, so it does make you look cool though.
Allow me.
Okay, I love that victory pose, just the way that she does that, like, she lights up her tail. Like, that tail flame is really cool.
I can fight.
It is kind of, actually, firstly, we'll get a conversation from the boss here.
Cute, right? But watch out. Those fangs will really leave a mark.
Okay, now I am glad that I'm going to have to be able to take out one of these flanking wolves with Louie's positioning.
Your luck's run out.
It's one less for me. I believe there are reinforcements on this map if you take too long. But the wolves' AIs are pretty dumb, at least on hard mode. On maddening mode, they will not attack anybody they do no damage to.
You're no match for
which
me.
is most armored units. And yeah, I'm not getting the,
You can lift the Fang's curse with my restore staff. Give it to someone who can use it.
or well, you, since you've got Micaiah. So yeah, Corrupted Wolves actually inflict a status that lowers the max HP of the enemy. Each stack of Cursed Fangs will reduce max HP by 5, and it lasts for the rest of the battle unless you remove it with Restore Staff, which thankfully does exist in this game. But yeah, I'm not actually getting the Fang Curse on Louis because just like Poison, you have to take damage in order to get affected by the curse. So okay, this mage right here, he is the anti-Louis countermeasure, and I'm worried about him less because of his threat level, and more because he will knock Louis out of Quick Riposte, and I really don't want that, because I want to clear out as many wolves as I can with Quick Riposte. So, let's put Louis, unfortunately, being just a regular lance armor, he's not really going to be doing much in the way of, like, he's not really going to be getting that far with his movement at the moment. I don't really like that wolf, it likes to flank me eventually. Also, keep an eye on the speed of the wolves. Most of them, see, these ones have 15. This wolf right here has 20 speed, and Nell has 14 speed. So, yeah, that may have come back to bite me, literally, in an earlier attempt of this. Now, like, if you get, like, really, like, into a good position, sometimes Nil can help. For example, like, I've got Fanny on Nil. Actually, no, I don't have Fanny on Nil, obviously. I just realized, I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh. Crapola. How did...
Mistake.
How did she suddenly get doubled by that wolf? That must have been a stronger wolf, then. I don't think I want to go for any engages just yet. Thing's going to be a little boring this turn then, but it's just like... Earlier I thought, oh, I could use Goddess Dance to get Louis to attack the mage. No, I can't. He doesn't have enough movement to do that. But still, at least I can do this. I believe support levels carry over to the Xenologue as well, so my A support between Aaliyah and Louis I think is actually helping here. Oh, look, I got a critical boost on somebody who sucks at combat. Like, at first I was thinking, oh, hey, since the boss is a Wolf Knight, I could use Fanny on him. Nope, on level 1. Can't use Fanny with Micaiah on Nil. But alright, that Archer is moving in, that Wolf is moving in. I do not like the fact that that Wolf is moving in. Yeah, see, here's the question. Do I save my, Okay, so you have 17 speed. Wolf over here has 15 speed. So Lyndon doesn't die to the Wolf. He will lose HP, though. If I engage with Byleth...
Emblem, engage!
Oh, that's a really dramatic way of saying that. See, again, I love the fact that Xenologue lets you use people that you maybe didn't really use in the main story. But yeah, I can snipe you down without any risk to myself.
As expected.
Can I... There's no way I can put Louis in front of you, right? Nope, okay. And if I go here, I do get into the boss's aggro range. The problem with that is, the first turn you get into aggro range of the boss, don't use Storm's Eye. Because he will spend his first turn using a revival blessing, using Divine Blessing to give a revival stone to this wolf, rather than actually, like, going after you. So, yeah, I'm gonna hold off on Storm's Eye for now. But as things stand, we do have to be careful. Especially of Mr. No Puberty Nil. Lyndon should be okay. But yeah, here we go.
You're not going anywhere.
I love the way that this guy looks in his Tiggy form, though. It's really cool.
It won't be easy beating that one. Not with my emblem's power protecting it.
I think you can do the Fel Xenologue, technically speaking, before you've done Tiki's Divine Paralogue, so this may be the first time you're getting to see the Revival Blessing mechanic work, so this is kind of your explanation for it. Something that I didn't actually get to show when I did do her Divine Paralogue is that Tiki usually uses her Revival Blessing on the, I keep mixing up, Divine Blessing to give a Revival Stone to the wyvern that's near her, but I killed that wyvern before it got a chance to do that, so yeah. Right, Mr. Wolf over here is unfortunately a little bulky, which means thanks to Geosphere, so I can't quite kill him with Louis, or at least finish off a health bar with Louis. It's also a it's actually a very high speed wolf. So yeah, this is where things actually do get a little bit problematic. Louis, I think, is totally okay to go toe-to-toe with the boss, but everyone else, I really am worried about this guy right here. Interesting idea. If I Piercing Glare here, I think in fact, I'm actually going to go ahead and equip the spear rather than armor, just so I can counter the archer. If I Piercing Glare, I've got this lightning barrier going on. Yeah, this wolf can't actually get past Louis' side here now, so gotta be careful of the other wolf, though, flanking me. But if I get rid of this wolf here
we go.
This part of the song's really nice as well.
Battle a chance to grow.
Now, Lyndon's got some good quotes with Violet. They're gonna make sense since he's also a teacher. Meanwhile, you take offense to that. Okay, here's the problem. Bondage Shield only blocks one attack. And Nil is almost certainly getting doubled in the face and he dies outright. Okay. No, I can't. Okay, yeah, Nil, as I've said, Nil is a huge liability. I mean, he's okay if I block one hit. Oh, at least I can get rid of the HP penalty from Lyndon.
Useful.
Yes, that is indeed very useful. However, oh no, actually no, the HP comes back. That's cool. But yeah, now I have to go regular engage.
Emblem, engage.
And I have to Bondage Shield, otherwise Nil is dead. Or I can stick Nell in front of him. In fact, I'm going to engage with Crom right now.
Engage.
Because the Levin Sword with Nell does actually do more than anything else she's got. Right then. I hope I haven't severely made a big mistake here. However, you're dead at least.
You're no match for me.
Okay, hi boss.
Hand over the bracelet.
Short and to the point, I see. Now, I kind of hope that I hit both these attacks. Nope. Please don't double miss, Louis. Okay, at least he hit one of them. Now, right. Okay, hi there. Yeah, I am indeed getting double, but one of these gets bondage shielded. Oh, it would have sucked if Nil had got attacked and I got the 10% bondage shield fail. That would have been really, really terrible. But okay, now, depending on how things go, I might even be able to use a Lyndon Goddess Dance here to take out the boss. That is actually painful, though. I wonder if I wouldn't have gotten doubled if I had used Liberation. It's more that, like, you're blocking some spaces. Okay, yeah, everything is going full on aggro mode here, but this boss theme is amazing. Oh, it would be really funny if I could take off a health bar with Nil. No, I don't do enough damage. I need to do, yeah, I don't do enough. Oh, that accuracy annoys me. Step 1, if I get lucky with Robin's chain attack, I can kill this wolf. I may not get lucky, but we'll see. Okay, no, I only need one of them to hit, that's fine.
Our bonds are far stronger than destiny.
That's actually kind of a fitting time to say that. I wonder if it's actually better if you just attack the boss rather than using 17. No, I think I do need Louis to attack it twice.
Our foes are strong.
Oh boy, this is the best accuracy I've got! If you have a Draconic Hex user, also very useful here, to reduce the boss's dodginess somewhat. Although, Aaliyah does have Canter. So I could go for a solid hit on the boss and then canter away. Again, skill inheritance is quite helpful here.
Are you the Divine Dragon?
Yes, and I'll be taking back that bracelet now.
So I'll have 2 copies of Tiki, and then I can...
Divine Dragon.
Or that.
That was fun.
Well, okay, I didn't even need to use, stuff.
You won. This time.
That was also a really fitting critical quote.
Are you the Divine Dragon?
I am the Divine Dragon.
Yes, I am indeed the Divine Dragon! But okay, yeah, there we go, that's over. 5 turns, Louis and Hector MVP. Yeah, it got pretty intense towards the end. The Wolves generally won round nil. Now, the fact that you're using, like, fixed character builds for these maps does imply there is, like, one optimal solution to all of them, and once you've found that out, then, yeah, there's kind of no real reason to play these maps anymore.
They got away. I was hoping we would finally learn their identity.
Yeah, that guy had a magic hood that somehow stayed on even after I used a critical arrow from a legendary weapon on him.
At least we got back the bracelet they were carrying. That's...
The bracelet of the ancestor. It seems different since we last laid eyes on it.
Maybe this emblem can tell us about their time in enemy hands. I'll summon them again so we can talk. Huh? That's strange.
What?
The invocation isn't coming to me. Perhaps it's because I'm in a new world?
You've developed selective amnesia from getting Tiki's bracelet. I feel like canonically the Divine Paralogs actually take place after the Fell Xenologues.
But that's no good. Summoning emblems is what a Divine Dragon does.
Divine Dragon? I'm Tiki. Are you a Divine Dragon like me?
Well...
Impossible. Emblems in this state shouldn't be able to speak.
Hello, Emblem Tiki. I might be able to summon you again, but your invocation isn't coming to me. Do you know it?
I don't know anything about an invocation. My head feels fuzzy. It hurts. Please, don't make me fight anymore. I don't like hurting people.
You need not act against your will. Allow me to return you to peaceful slumber.
You can do that?
I can indeed. But I am unfamiliar with this summoning power of which you speak. The Divine Dragon of this world was able to cleanse fallen emblems. It would seem that you cannot do the same. So I will send Emblem Tiki to rest.
Well, I mean, we could do the same, but that was in our world. I guess not being the Divine Dragon native to this universe means some of our abilities don't quite work the same way.
In slumber, she will be safe from those who would exploit her power. No longer will she be compelled to fight.
You might say we are containing her power in the bracelet. Sadly, since we lack the ability to awaken emblems, she cannot aid us any further.
So, just like Vale, I guess.
It sounds like our only option right now. Please, go ahead. Whatever benefits there might be to keeping her awake, I won't force her to fight. Tiki, I hope we'll meet again someday.
Well, little does she know we already have.
I'd like that. When we do, let's play together lots, okay?
And we already have.
Absolutely.
Farewell, Emblem Tiki. Sweet dreams.
Night-night.
This must really suck for her, because the same thing was done to her back in Arcanea.
Now, so long as we keep her away from the enemy, she will be able to rest.
Yes, so long as we keep her away from the enemy. That's the key point. So we're now kind of carrying around a very, very dangerous weapon, and if we die, then they're just going to take it back.
Thank you, Nell.
And us dying is a lot more likely here than it is in our home universe, because we're lower level, and also Nil exists.
We place our emblems into slumber as a matter of course, to prevent their exploitation.
And yet they all seem to be pretty awake now.
Emblem Tiki was thus asleep when she was taken. But she returned to us awake. Our foe must therefore possess the power to awaken emblems.
Okay, so there's somebody out here who can do that, and in the Fell Dragon way, not the Divine way.
Only divine and fell dragons can control them in that way. There are no divine dragons left in this world, So that means our enemy is a fell dragon. One of our siblings, in other words.
If it's a sibling of yours, then do you have any idea who it could be?
We have many brothers and sisters, but we're not acquainted with all of them. Many died in the most recent war. There is no telling which of them survived.
The power to control emblems is rare. If we knew the culprit, we would surely recall. Perhaps this child was born after we left Sombron, or developed this power late.
Dragon powers are unpredictable. I cannot transform myself or control emblems at all.
And we know thanks to your personal skill that you're a little bitter about that.
Sombron deemed me a failure. If I had stayed with him, I would probably be dead by now.
We've got somebody with us who very much knows that feeling.
How awful.
And well, Aaliyah did many years ago.
I managed to survive only because Nell took me with her when she left. It angers me to think that our siblings could be behind this. To be given that kind of power, only to use it for evil. What a waste.
Just like Mr. Rias in Ace Attorney.
Nell.
Sorry. It's not my intention to poison the mood.
So, Divine One, our objective is to put an end to the ambitions of Sombron's mysterious heir.
And also that mysterious cloaked person who totally isn't somebody that we know, because, you know, if you're good at recognizing voice actors, you probably already know who that is.
Since we are fighting to return the emblems to slumber, they will not be able to help us. Knowing this, it is your choice whether or not to join our cause. What say you?
So the thing is, we're able to cheat and bring our emblems from another universe over here.
Yes, I'll help.
Splendid! It is such a comfort to have you on our side. Isn't it, Nell?
After what I saw in that battle, I must agree. But I will remain unsettled by the necessity of fighting alongside this dead dragon.
Oh, I unsettle you, do I?
Please, there is no need to quarrel.
Oh, you calling me a necro dragon?
Why don't the two of you shake hands and agree to be friends from now on?
I decline.
I'm allergic to the flesh of dead dragons.
Then I guess I'll pass too.
You could at least try to get along.
Before we depart the castle, Nil, we should say our farewells.
Oh, agreed.
I didn't know anyone else was in the castle. Is it a person I know?
You are welcome to come find out. But what you see may upset you.
I feel like it is a person we know, in a manner of speaking. It's gonna be Aaliyah's own grave, isn't it? And Lumera's.
It looks to be a monument of some kind.
This is the resting place of the Divine Dragon. Your grave.
Yep, thought so.
I did warn you.
We will be just a moment, Divine One. You can go back if you like.
Actually, do you mind if I say something? I'd like to speak to my other self, who lived here with you.
I think that would be a lovely gesture.
Visiting my own gravestone. Not something I ever thought I'd do. I can see why Nell is unsettled by this situation. I promise to fulfill your role and protect those important to you as best I can. And with that, my reflection, goodbye.
Why can't I turn into a dragon like you and Father?
There. You may someday.
I'm a failure. I'm weak.
No, Nell. You are strong. Surely you will be able to transform eventually.
When?
Not even Father can say for sure. But until then, hold on to this.
Your Dragonstone? But you won't be able to transform without it.
I can if you carry it for me. And I know you will always be by my side. We are two halves of a whole, Nell. This power is ours to share.
Our power.
And that is the end of Xenologue 1, Dragons from Afar. It's a pretty fun map, honestly, a pretty short and sweet one. I do feel like armored units are a little bit broken there outside of maddening, though. But on that note, I'll see you next time for a significantly more complicated Xenologue, the second one, as something that was foretold by the fanbase for a long time finally came to pass. We finally meet Evil Saline.